Gateway Gamers podcast.
Hello, welcome to Gateway Gamers Podcast. My name is Bryan Marvel, joined sometimes by the great RP Walsh. How are you, sir?
Am I sometimes great, or am I sometimes on the show?
You're sometimes on the show at this
That's
point.
right. Yes, you've had amazing guests join the show. I've really enjoyed those episodes with Mike.
Mike the solo gamer. And Press and I have done an episode for your podcast, but I'm hoping to get him on.
Yeah, Preston was great on previously recorded. I
hoping to
can't
get
say
him on
enough good things.
here.
If you're listening, P, I love you, buddy.
Yep.
You guys did great. You were awesome. Thank you for filling in for us and talking about that stuff that I wanted to talk about. However, I probably should have released an omissions and corrections episode because there were some things that you guys got wrong that I would have corrected on the spot, but that's the joy of podcasting. You can say whatever you want, and it's up to people to fact check it.
If you're curious what we're talking about, Preston and I did an episode on RP's podcast, previously recorded. We covered what they announced at D23 for Disney, and
yeah, a lot of
apparently we were just completely wrong. A lot
of like the big stuff where like you guys were like, this is annoying. You got the ride systems wrong. You got where it was going wrong.
I'm just so melancholy because I'm just waiting for the Muppets to go away, and I just don't want them to. But
yeah, it's the worst kept secret. Muppet. I'm fine with Muppet. It's a very small side tangent. I'm fine with the Muppets Land going away. Just leave the Muppet Theater because you can. There's no reason for you not to leave the Muppet Theater.
They won't. But anyway, we are a board game podcast. This is a podcast where I introduce RP to board games and board game mechanics, one episode at a time. Normally, I like to spring these board games mysteriously onto him, keep it a secret. However, once in a while, we cover,
kind of fell into our. I don't know. You said spring, and I was like, well, we're in fall. So sometimes we just fall into things. I don't.
Nope.
Leave that.
Nope. I know you.
Don't cut that. Leave that. I fumbled the bag. I'm sorry.
But once in a while, there's just a game that we love to play that we haven't covered that we want to talk about, and that is what is happening today. So today we are talking about Unmatched game system featuring Marvel, and we're going to cover the Hell's Kitchen box. If you are a listener for a long time, you know we have covered Unmatched before with our Blockbuster Summer event. We covered the T-Rex versus whatever her name is in the movie.
Issa Faust? No. Sorry, that's Mission Impossible. Sorry. Sadler. Dr. Sadler. Yeah.
So we have covered this game before, but it was the T-Rex versus Ellie Sadler. And RP was not a huge fan of the mechanic.
Hated it.
And he has come around because of the IP. But the IP helped. The IP was the stepping stone.
Yeah, because originally when we played this, it's not that we just played the Jurassic Park one. We also played the Alice in Wonderland one.
No, we played at a separate time. So
I thought we played that first.
I tried to introduce you to this game, and we played the Alice in Wonderland. I think I had Volume 1 and 2. So you played Alice in Wonderland, Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I played Sun Wukong, and I annihilated you. So I don't like this game because you didn't see the full potential. We played Jurassic Park, T-Rex versus Ellie Sadler, and I think I annihilated you, and you were like, I don't like this game, I don't understand it.
Yeah,
that box is also not a good box to play alone. That's a good box to mix in. And then I remember bringing the Marvel edition around. I have all 5 boxes of the Marvel boxes.
And when you first brought it around, I played it kind of unwillingly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play it. And to my surprise, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because it felt more fair. I feel like the last 2 times, like those original 2 times, I was just like unmatched truly.
Truly, the first time you just had no idea what was going on. You didn't understand the mechanics of it. You didn't really understand the nuances of it. Yeah. The T-Rex one, as I said, isn't a great introduction to the game. It's a good one to mix in. But the Marvel sets are not only fantastic on their own, but with the system of Unmatched, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So today I want to talk about the Hell's Kitchen box because of all the Marvel characters I know, Elektra is your favorite. You love the movie. You love Jennifer Gardner. It is your favorite character in the comics.
As if you're a fan of previously recorded, you will have heard us discuss in detail about why Elektra is my favorite movie of all time and a cinematic master dump. It is awful. I am. I'm a fan of the inhabitants of Hell's Kitchen. But Elektra, I wouldn't say is my favorite. However, Daredevil is my favorite superhero.
Is there a reason why? I don't know if there's... I think Megan asked me one time, because I remember I got a Coke can with Daredevil, and I said to Oliver, that's RP's favorite. She said, why? And I went, I don't know.
Yeah. So a lot of people have asked me, and I've talked about it before. It's not like... What I enjoy about Daredevil is that he has these enhanced normal abilities. He's for the most part, a fairly normal person with enhanced supernatural abilities. So it's not like crazy. It's, I find that aspect very cool. I also find his morality very cool, where he toes that line of what he thinks is moral and right and kind of sticks to that. And what he can do with the mask on and with the mask off. I just have always been very connected to, and I've been very connected to that, and that didn't happen, and truly until I watched the Daredevil movie. When it came out, I was like, this character's kind of cool. I don't want to compare it to like TV and movies, but like what they do in the comics, like a lot of things that Daredevil does and how his stories are told. Like there's a whole run called End of Days. He's in it for like 10 seconds, maybe. It's phenomenal. It's so well done because it's like this lore of this world, and it's more like it's not. And one of the things I'm experiencing now with like reading some of the X-Men is we're getting a lot of like other universes, other worlds, where Daredevil is very grounded, and it's very much there's some weird stuff with the hand where that kind of dips, but like it's all still relatively grounded. We're not dealing with the Shi'ar Empire. We're not dealing with Otherworld. We're not like, and that's the stuff where like it just feels like because it kind of
New York. It's New York City, which is wild in itself.
Which in itself is otherworldly at points. But anyway, I don't want, as anybody's eyes might be glazing over as I speak. As I speak about Daredevil, I just think bottom line, I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
I think he has a cool morality complex. I like his skill set, and I like how simple he is.
Yeah. I mean, in case you haven't figured it out, RP and I are huge comic book nerds. We have covered IP-driven games featuring Marvel before. It's the IP we gravitate toward the most. So in this box, Unmatched, we kind of talked about the Unmatched system before. It's from Restoration Games. It plays for like 20 minutes. It's a head-to-head card combat miniature movement type game. And Restoration Games has done a wonderful job where they have 5 boxes of Marvel, which is their IP for Marvel, but their bread and butter is that they have public domain characters. So one box they have Alice from Alice in Wonderland, they have Medusa, they have Bloody Mary, they have another box which is all like monsters, so it's Dracula, the Invisible Man.
They have Nikola Tesla. That one.
Yeah, they have one of their newest sets.
Too,
one of their newest sets is like more of a story-driven type game where they have Tesla. They have the Golden Bat, which was a character I knew nothing about, and I watched an hour and a half YouTube documentary deep dived on them. But I pretty much own all of them. But the Marvel sets are the ones that I think are the most. I don't want to say like welcoming because it's all the same system, but I think it's because it's Marvel, it's the ones that hit the stores the hardest. It's the ones that people are going to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good.
I think you add that to Restoration Games and Mondo's art display on like, the
box.
Art.
We'll talk about the art for sure.
Yeah, like I'm just talking box. Like even on those other games that I didn't like love, those other times we played, like that's what it enticed me was the art, the style, like everything. It. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, give the basic gameplay. The basic gameplay is, as I said, normally it's just a head-to-head one character. You could do two characters versus two characters. There's a little mini map that's probably not much bigger than the box that comes in itself, and it's gridded
It's
off.
probably like 12 by 12,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit bigger, 18 by 18. Like at that point, it's not huge.
It's not big at all, which is nice because you don't need it. You
Yeah.
need like a very personal brawl. The art on the box for this set is a above New York City street type of thing. It has
New York City.
New York City. What
I was
do
there.
the shadows?
I was there.
Tourette's.
I was there recently, and that's all I kept saying.
But it has like a Wilson Fish truck. It just has like streets, construction. It just looks like any street in New York, probably Hell's Kitchen. And on the map itself is different circles and then lines that connect the circles, and that's for movement and range purposes. Very easy, very nice to look at. The three characters come in this box are Daredevil, as we talked about for 45 minutes, Bullseye, and Elektra.
And the hand.
And then some of the characters in the Unmatched system will come with sidekicks. Elektra has sidekicks, which are the hands. The three main characters are beautiful miniatures.
Yes.
Like fantastic miniatures that have a wash to them. So they're black and gray. You can see all the detail in the black wash that they're kind of given.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one color.
And it really works for not just the Marvel characters, but all of their characters.
Yeah.
It really works
They
well.
do a great job. The miniatures are fantastic and they don't need to be. They don't need to be at all. These could be cardboard cutouts, and the game would just be just
Yeah,
as
it'd be
nice.
fine.
Yeah, but the miniatures are fantastic. Elektra's sidekicks are just little tokens. Again, fantastic. They're quality plastic things. Like they again could chin stamped cardboard,
Yeah.
but they want high quality. And the point of the game is just a head-on-head skirmish battle. That's you're moving these miniatures around the board, but it's a card-driven combat system.
Yep.
So tell us about some of the combat.
Yeah, so some of the combat is there are attack cards.
Mm-hmm.
So each turn you have to draw a card, and then you can move, you can attack, or play another effect card.
And you do two of those
You
things.
do two of those things. A draw card is automatic, so this
Mm-hmm.
doesn't count, so you can do two of the other things, which could mean another card, attack, or play like an effect card. So if I were to attack Bryan, I would have to be so on the map there's you move on these circles, and the circles will have like different colors on them, which the different colors are, or like texture will be like area, quote unquote areas. And if you're within the same area as an opponent, you can attack.
If you have range.
If you have range, and your range is dependent on your card, it could be up to 2, 3, 4 spaces. Bullseye had 5 spaces, which is insane.
So range is dependent on as long as you're in the same color area. So it's not really spaces. It's just like if you're in, like it's
because like gray sandy could
Yeah.
cover like 4 spaces, and some of the spaces are like half gray, half green, and then that's other, and like that's just kind of how the flow of the map works. So you can do that, and so if I am within range, I can attack Bryan,
which is playing a
which
card.
is playing a attack card, which will be red. It'll be indicated red on the left hand side, or you could have a purple one that is an attack and defense, and you play it face down, and your opponent has the ability to play a defense card, or a defense card's blue, or a purple attack or defense card, or nothing. They can choose to play nothing, and then you play the card. You inflict that much damage, and then you play out the effects on the cards.
It's super
It's simple.
simple.
But it's more fun. It's not. It's I don't want to say it's more fun because it's thematic, but like just the way the flow of the game allows it to be more than just a standard move and play.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that I don't think is describable.
Yeah, it's basically just rock, paper, scissors almost. Like, it's just not really,
Sort of,
but
because you have a winner, you have a loser.
yeah, it's just like Daredevil plays a red 2 card, but most of the times there's also text that's with it where it's like during combat you can do this, or after combat or this, and it's just like the whole like situation of being like, all right, he's attacking me. Do I play a card? Because as you're burning these cards from your hand, that's less options you have for later.
And when you're out of cards, you're dead.
Not necessarily. But each time you can't draw, you take a damage. So you're essentially dead, but you have some choices. But so you don't want to burn through your deck and just block in and attacking. You have to be smart where you're like, all right, sometimes the attack has to go through, or sometimes I can block, or sometimes I could do this and that. So it's interesting because the gameplay itself of just playing cards, moving, drawing is super simple. The theme and the fun of the games come because each character is so wildly different. For a game that does the same thing,
Yeah.
each character plays so much different, and they play so thematically
Incredibly thematic.
that it's really like interesting how it's even accomplishable for such like a simple mechanic of, hey, I'm playing a card that attacks you. Are you going to block it with this card? But then my card does something weird, and then your card does something weird, and then I attack you with weird stuff, and you block it with weird stuff. But because you're this character, you do weird stuff that I can't do, where it's really interesting. But that's the gist of the game. It's just moving around a board,
Yeah.
playing cards to attack.
Like example for the thematic is Bullseye can attack from 5 spaces away. Makes sense. He's got that long shot. Bullseye. He's an assassin. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Where then Daredevil can do something called a blind boost,
Awesome.
which is thematic because Daredevil is blind.
Yeah.
So you could just pull a card right from your deck, and you kind of you blind pull it down, and there'll be a little circle with a number in it, and that'll boost your attack, but then you obviously lose that card.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. And then there's levels of super thematic, where Elektra has a 2-sided health counter, and she has Elektra, which has 9 health, and then when she dies, she also has her companions, the hand. The hand also die, but then she's resurrected and starts from the beginning, and so you basically have 2 lives with Elektra. Which is super thematic.
And then you have like extra options on the cards that you can access because now you're the hand resurrected. So like her cards had like these other options you couldn't assess the first time, but when she's resurrected, she's more options to do stuff.
Yeah, which is thematic and story driven from the Daredevil comics and lore and everything.
Yeah, super awesome. So we've played this game plenty of times. Today we played twice. The first game you played as Daredevil, and I played as Bullseye. So, besides the blind boosting, like, what can you tell me about what makes his deck a little more thematic than anyone else's?
So you whooped my butt.
Yes.
And so I didn't get to play too much,
Yeah.
but a lot of things are, like, based on, like, kind of it back against the wall, like, you get a little bit of a boost, like, things like that. Like, I don't
It was
really...
like the less cards you had, right?
Yeah,
like,
there was, like, advantages to having less than others, kind of. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to, like, ring home about because I didn't get to shuffle through his cards as much as I did with like Elektra, where like Elektra was like there was movements for just the hand. I don't really like
this time around. But I played with him before, so like the one thing that's huge for him is, as we talked about, when your deck is empty, you're taking damage. He has like a card that when your deck is empty and you have nothing to draw from, he's doing 9 attack. That card's worth 9. So it's, as you said, he has a lot of cards that are like very rope-a-dope. He's against the ropes. He's low on cards. His damage is down. He does better when he's worse.
Yeah, and he also has like a lot of cards that allow him to move further and like through people, which is like one of them's called like grappling hook, which is how he moves. Like he moves quicker.
Yeah,
than,
very.
Like, other people.
He does a good job in a game. Normally, when you move, when you're next to somebody, you can't jump over them. They kind of block you. Whereas Daredevil kind of flips over you. Like it's a really cool mechanic.
And then the super thematic one is there's one's called, it's a defensive card, and you can also use it as an attack, but it's called Take a Knee, which is kind of his approach to things. Is like to not be combative if he doesn't have to. And then one of the effects is you can recover health equal to the card you top deck. So like little things like that. I found maybe some of the other cards were more thematic than him, but he was still cool. Like his big thing was the blind boost.
Yeah, that blind boost was really cool. I like that kind of mechanic of you draw a card randomly.
It's
and
just a little thing that
yeah,
goes
just a little
pretty
thing.
cool.
Bullseye, the first time around, I think you just got the raw deal of having no defensive cards, so I was able to ping you really fast.
Even shuffling through Daredevil's deck, there's not that many defensive cards.
Where, as we said, Bullseye can shoot from 5 spaces away, even outside of his zone, which is insane. Because as we said, if you're in the same green zone as our character, that's how you kind of have the range. Where he can shoot any 5 spaces, even if it's a different zone, which is really important for him because a lot of his cards were dependent on like kind of rebounding. So a lot of his cards I kind of figured out were really weak in their initial attack. There were a lot of 2s, which is really easy to beat defensively. But as I said with Daredevil, he kind of got the raw deal because he just wasn't playing defensive cards because he didn't have any. So I was hitting him for 2, which doesn't seem like a lot. But his follow-up cards, a lot of his cards would be like, if you won the last battle, this is worth 6. If you won the last battle, you can boost another card to this.
Yeah.
If you won the last battle, move 3, get an extra attack. So without defense, he's just throwing things and then like rebounding it back, where he's not as powerful if he's not able to do that. So if you're able to put up a good defense, his attacks are weak, and he's barely. It's very thematic to his character because it's like he's not strong. Bullseye's just a normal dude who could throw things. Like that's it. So it's like I could throw things far, but it's like I'm throwing a pen at you.
Yeah,
like it's gonna hurt, but you're like
Depends which version you're reading is of your. It depends which interpretation of Bullseye you have.
But I like that it was like, all right, this dude's not super strong, which is why he has such a good range. So he's hiding over here, throwing things to slow you down. He had like a good amount of movement where it was like, if he hit you, he could move 4 spaces, where it was like, he's keeping you at bay and just kind of lobbing stuff, which I really enjoyed. I liked the idea that I could, because first I was like, wow, this guy's really strong. Like, this doesn't make sense. But once we played versus Elektra and you had more defensive cards and you were blocking a lot of his first attacks, his second attacks weren't as strong. So it was a good balance of like, all right, this dude has good range, but he's not very strong. So unless he's kind of getting lucky and you're not able to defend it, his second attacks aren't as good.
Sure.
And again, thematic. Like, he's kind of a punk. He's throwing things from far away. And he's just a normal human, just throwing things.
Yeah.
So I really liked Bullseye. I like that. Again, super thematic. And it just kind of fit his character. And then Elektra.
As I talked about, she had the double-sided for the hand.
How many hands does she have?
She had 4 hands. And one of the thematic things was there was a card that we had that allowed you to attack, but then after combat, you could essentially kill the hand, take them off the board, but then you would get an additional action and you would get the card back. And that was very on brand for the hand, like just sacrificing a nobody for the the greater good.
For the good.
She had one where she could attack 6, but then she would take 3 additional damage. There was ones where like after she died, if you attacked, then after combat you would additional attack. So she was like more fierce. If she was in the resurrection side.
You overpowered Bullseye. Like, that's all it was. Those hand characters.
Even with a smaller deck,
she's
still, like, for whatever reason, she has the smallest deck of the 3, and we overpowered you with the hand, which was cool because we could move the hand. I could move 2, and then I could move every hand 2 as well. And it helped take out Bullseye because he was really, really tough.
Yeah, because I was good because I was pinging them, because if you didn't block with them, they have 1 health. They're just sidekicks. They have no like health tracker. So I was hitting them for 1, and then my second card would be worth more.
Yeah.
Because I was successful the first time, but it was just like I couldn't get her.
Yeah.
Like, you kept playing these defensive cards, like cancel my abilities out, or
it was really nice to pull those defense cards out.
Yeah. At one point, you were able to like smoke screen and swap a spot with
Yeah, that was cool.
the ninja. So I was like, at one point I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wail on Elektra, and then you poofed away, and I was like, I gotta waste these cards on this hand character. Like it really worked, and that ability that you had where it was like, destroy this minion, get the card back, and get an action.
It was awesome.
So and it doesn't say do it once. You were able to do it theoretically 4 times if you were able to do it, but it's like you're getting rid of your minions, but it's like you can get 6 attacks off in one turn, like theoretically if it works out.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
I was like, can I keep doing that? And we just kept rolling, and I did. Not with that card, but I did beat you.
Yeah, just
nice.
The magic logic of if it's on the read the card, that's the rule.
Yep,
so it didn't say you couldn't.
Absolutely.
So I will say, of the 5 boxes, I find this one the strangest.
Yes.
Because it's the only one with a villain.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the most...
Well, technically Winter Soldier
could
be a villain.
Yeah.
Could
but
be.
It's also just like the most straightforward thematic, where it's like Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil, Bullseye, Elektra. Like
was this their first one?
No, I think the first one was Redemption Row.
With the Ghost Rider.
With Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and Cage. Yeah. Which are like thematic, but also not. Like they're not the same like comic. Like Bullseye, Daredevil, Elektra are Daredevil.
Yes.
So like I thought it was the most odd, but they also work.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like I think at first I was like, Bullseye's kind of weird because it's all heroes, and I'm like, why is it all heroes? Why do they all fight each other? But you got to turn that off.
Yeah.
But playing this box, like, it makes sense. I like it. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I love Unmatched. It's easily, I think, one of my top 10 games. Like, this is not leaving my collection. This will be in my collection forever. Like, it won't even be an option to get rid of this. I think the Unmatched system is something that I always loved. I love, as we talked about before, I love being able to mix and match things.
Yep, absolutely.
So you can mix any of these Marvel sets with any of the other sets. So we could theoretically have Daredevil and Bullseye versus a T-Rex and Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
like you could have Elektra and Sun Wukong versus Bigfoot.
If I wanted to. And the
Jurassic Park. Like I love that idea of mixing and matching things. So I've always loved Unmatched. What do you feel about this box? Like, clearly you...
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's not my favorite of the Unmatched boxes, like the Unmatched Marvel boxes, but I do have a soft spot for it, obviously, because of Daredevil. Mm-hmm. But the other boxes allude to kind of the cooler elements of, like, what a Marvel IP can bring to a game. Like, for example, Doctor Strange, like that. But the art's amazing. The cards are awesome.
Art's always. The Mondo art for these games.
Yeah, it's Mondo, man.
Awesome. Like, I literally, like, I was playing cards, and I couldn't wait to play them so I could show you, because I don't want to show you my hand. But I would, like, play a card. I'm like, look how cool this art is.
Yeah, it's all of it's awesome. Yeah. But table presence is great.
Yeah, so, So let's go down our normal, theme.
Amazing.
Oozes theme. Like,
oozes the theme.
Each one of these characters feel like the character.
Yes.
Like, when you play Daredevil, even though you got the raw deal, it's like when you look through his deck, him being this against the wall, like, does better when the chips are down, fits.
Yeah.
Bullseye fits. He throws things from far away.
Perfectly.
Elektra fits. She has her ninja minions that don't do much, but they're annoying. And then she dies and comes back to life, just like in the comic. Mm-hmm. Oozes theme.
I love it.
Table presence and aesthetics, as we talked about. Love the art. It doesn't have like a lot of table presence because
it's small.
The board itself is also just kind of like bubbles. There is a option on the other side that has more art and bubbles, but it's just, for me, it's just kind of harder to see.
Sure.
Like for actual gameplay.
What I like about it is it's small. It's a small board.
Yeah.
So it's not taking up your entire table.
Yep. But the figures are nice on moving around.
Absolutely.
Like, but it's whatever. It's not the most like, look at this game. But the art on the cards is fantastic. Replay value, even in this box, I would say high, because you have 3 characters in this box. And then once you kind of open it up and mix it with not just a Marvel, but all the games that they have at this point, it's huge. Like, huge replayability. Ease of play.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, we went through it pretty quickly. I think there's...
It might be a step above Gateway, but, like, maybe not really.
It's just a lot of reading and kind of being like, what does this mean? Or how does this work? Which, yeah, I don't think the gameplay itself is complicated, but, like, the nuance...
There's
things that the characters do.
Yeah, and because we were even questioning, like, we had to go to the rule book a couple times for stuff with the sidekicks.
Yeah, it's always sidekicks that mess us up with this game.
I get it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an overly complicated game system. But
no, not at all.
I think it's just nuanced. There's certain things that the characters do that you kind of have to read a couple times to be like, what does this do?
I get that.
But still, I would say this is an easy game system. And then luck of strategy. I think it's a good balance.
It's a good balance.
Yeah, where it's like you're
dependent on the cards.
Yeah, you're lucky of the cards because obviously you saw what bad luck would be.
Yeah, but you know if you know what you're building towards once you have the cards, it's strategy.
Yeah, but there's also strategy of where you move people and how you're playing the cards, and then the luck is just kind of like, what are you drawing? What's your other person doing? But I think it's a good balance. I don't think it's one or the other.
Definitely.
But that's Hell's Kitchen, the Unmatched system.
Stamp of approval.
One of the Marvel boxes. An absolute stamp of approval. If you're not interested in the Marvel, as I said, there is a ton of other systems they kind of made. They just announced a Witcher, which
I'm ho-hum about.
I was kind of ho-hum too, but I'm curious of like how it all works. Because I do like that game more than the show. I like the video game. So some of the characters they had in the box, I was like, oh, wow, these are... I thought it was just going to be...
Like the TV show?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be him, her, and then like the bad guy. But they have two separate boxes with characters I did not expect to be in the game. Whether or not I buy it, I don't know. Because I haven't bought everything
there's a lot of boxes,
They announced Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali.
Sure.
Which is huge because... Bruce Lee was an individual character, much like Deadpool for the Marvel set. And the license for Bruce Lee expired because he's not a public domain character. They actually had to get approval. So, as of last week, to get a Bruce Lee, just Bruce Lee and cards, not a map, not any other characters, was over $100.
Oh.
Because people that wanted them. So they announced this week that they got the license back. They're re-releasing Bruce Lee, but they're putting him with Muhammad Ali in a box set with a map and cards and everything. Some people are pissed.
Yeah, I mean...
People like me who never got them are happy. Because I would never spend $100 for just one character.
No, it's dumb.
And then the other big announcement, which has us really juiced up, is... They are...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, teenagers in a half shell, Turtle Power.
I'm doing a little dance as if we're video recording this. So as I mentioned, they had a different type of system game called Unmatched Adventures, which I have and I played. Haven't introduced to you yet, but it's fantastic. But it's more of it's a co-op game where you can play against a boss on the map. So that game has like Mothman and aliens with other characters and Tesla and everybody else. They are putting the Kickstarter a Ninja Turtles Unmatched adventure.
Oh, so it's only adventure? It's not this type of a match?
So you can play the 4 heroes in that box. Tesla, I think Madame Curie. I forget who else the other 3 characters are. You could play them in a normal game. Mothman and the alien are like bosses. You can't play them. But you can mix and match anything. You can have these Marvel characters versus Mothman. It's all interchangeable. So the Ninja Turtles set is going to be essentially the same. I'm thinking the 4 Ninja Turtles are going to be the main characters you could play as. And then Shredder and like Krang will be villains that you can't play as.
Okay.
Which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
So pumped. Love Ninja Turtles. Huge IP that I love.
Me too. I love them so much.
So I think that Kickstarter is coming October. I'll probably back it. their Kickstarters are good because there's no bells or whistles. It's like
Just buy the game.
it's pre-ordering a game, and then they might include something. Where I think the last one they included like alien miniatures instead of tokens.
Oh, cool.
This one might be like Mausers. So
Sure.
Baxter Stockman might be going and get little Mausers, which is whatever, but it's something that I want. But that's it. Like if you're interested in Unmatched,
There's tons of options.
there's tons of options. It's not expensive.
It's like $30.
I think
35.
a normal 2-player box with like 2 characters in it.
Well, how about this? What's this box cost?
I think because of the IP. All right, so because of the IP, these go about 35 each, which still isn't insane for what you're getting. The normal like games, as I said, a 2-player one is around 25.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, the bigger boxes that have more characters, like 4 different characters, are like 40. Again, like not terrible for what you're kind of getting. The quality you're getting, the inserts, everything is fantastic. These have been showing up at Barnes & Nobles, the Marvel ones, and are dropping down to like $15, $20.
That's a steal.
I was at Barnes near you today, and they had the Girl Power one, the Teen Spirit one, for like 25.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. So, and I think as they're losing the license, these are going to disappear. These are going to get harder to get. They lost the Marvel license officially. The Deadpool individual is going for 100 because
Crazy.
it's impossible to find. And then these are, as they sell, they're going to get harder to find. They vaulted Bigfoot and Robin Hood, so I can't get that anymore. And then they're vaulting the Vampire, Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde. I have it, but it's going away.
Okay.
I still see it here and there, but it's going to get scarcer. So if Unmatched is something you're interested in, I really suggest checking it out. It's a great game system. There's something for everybody with the themes. And we will be covering these boxes more in the future. This is just the one we're going to cover for now. But this is definitely a game we will be talking about for years as we just cover each box, I feel like, because it's never going to end. Like Turtles, we're absolutely going to...
Yeah, absolutely.
When that comes in.
Definitely.
But that's it for this episode. If you like what you hear, you'll love what you see on Instagram. Check it out. We have the visuals of the games we play, games that I play on my own.
That was a damn good
I know, that's a
plug.
great segue.
That
I'm going to
was.
break that down or I'm going to forget.
That was really good.
We are on other socials, but Instagram is our bread and butter. That's the one that I run. That's the one that I keep up with the most. It's the one I interact with you the most. So if you ever have questions, comments, concerns, or just want to say hi,
You,
reach
the
out
listener, not me.
on Instagram. Yeah, not you. I talk to you all the time. We also have shirts, stickers, hats, underwear, whatever.
Check it all out.
TeePublic and Redbubble. If you
Holidays are coming up.
Yep, if you want to help us out, that's where you do it. Just buy a sticker, buy a hat, buy a shirt, promote us. If
Parents like games,
forget,
plug
yeah.
the show. That's great. Remember to rate, like, and subscribe.
rate, like, and subscribe, that's a huge one. Also, if you listen to Spotify now, you can leave comments.
Oh,
So
let us know.
comment, let us know what's working, what's not working. It's not a review, it's just a comment.
We
You can
love
also
comments.
review, too. If I
You
was
can, yeah.
But thank you so much, RP. Thank you.
Yeah, mwah.
Again,
Hugs and
mwah.
kisses. Love yous.
And see you soon.
Ta-ta.
Bye.